right.
Welcome to episode 57 of the Sundowners Golf Club podcast. I'm Giovanni, here with Mr. Matt Caldwell. Matt's over there lighting up a stogie on his patio. He's got his fresh Silverado t-shirt on, a brand new Meadow Springs hat. Matt, how you doing? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that t-shirt?
Well, I mentioned a little bit last episode, I believe, that I was headed down to Texas. And a little bit of the motivation, the cherry on top to the trip, besides seeing the work site, seeing some of the team down there, was Friday evening. My favorite band, formerly known as Mike and the Moon Pies, now they go by Silverado, was performing at Green Hall in New Braunfels, Texas, which is about 45 minutes northeast of San Antonio and 45 minutes southwest of Austin. So just kind of between the two. Green Hall is a historic location. They've hosted just about every country, Western, blues artist over the last, 70 years, right? It has some history in there. It is old school. The dance hall itself where they perform is just kind of four walls and a tin roof. It was night 2 for them, and it was their second year, I believe, playing the July 4 weekend. It was a good time. I did pay to do the VIP meet and greet because I've seen these guys live a bunch of times. Had the opportunity to do it, so we pulled the trigger and made it happen. So we got to chit chat with the band for about 30 minutes before the show. It was a good time, man, and the concert was just absolutely perfect. I had hyped it up so much for the location, the band itself, and it was just, chef's kiss. It was so good. It was a good time. Yeah, went to the, the merch stand, had to get myself a t-shirt. I was rocking a Mike and the Moon Pies shirt at the concert, and when Mike himself came up, he looked at the shirt and he goes, "Oh shit. Nice shirt, buddy."
One of the real ones.
Yeah. So it was a good time, man. It was really fun. It was hot. The dance hall itself, everybody was just sweating. We were in there for 2 hours just rocking out. It was a good time.
Now, they are playing in Spokane on August 2nd.
Yeah, they're at the Knitting Factory in Spokane.
Yeah. I'm trying to look and see how much. It looks like you can get a $28 ticket.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Tickets at Green Hall were $25.
That's pretty cool. I'm looking to see how much a VIP ticket is.
You don't need to say it out loud. Okay.
$100. That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all, man. It was fun.
No, that's cool. You got, gosh, I feel like Austin, Texas has been like my home away from home the last couple months. So I'm glad you got to go out there, have a little, some date nights and get to see your favorite band.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
You told us about the shirt. Tell us about the hat. I know we talked about your, getting into the country club, but I told you the first thing I'm doing when I get in is I'm going to go buy myself a nice quarter zip, maybe a visor.
Yep.
Got to get some merch, get the club merch.
I did that today. I signed the paperwork, officially became a member. If I had my wallet, I'd show you. I have my member ID card. I went up to the pro shop and picked out a hat, looked at a few hats, and went with the green and gold, and put it on the account. Just put it.
Oh, did you?
She said, "Do you want to put it on your account?" I said, "Sure do."
Yeah, might as well.
Sure do.
What was that process like? Do you go to their office? Do you go straight to the pro shop?
So there's like an administrative office there, just around the corner from the pro shop, and there's a lady there named Haley, and she's been kind of walking me through this whole process. She's kind of the organizer of the whole deal. And we walked downstairs, and like as we went downstairs, she showed us everything. Said, this is the pro shop. If you're trying to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to do that here. Here's our, the dining room, the lounge, the age is 21 and up here. If you want to have dinner, call ahead, or, if it's available, this is where you can have the family, and just kind of went through everything. And then we went downstairs, had the cover sheet, kind of went over, she's like, what is it that really brought you here? And you just kind of have your opening statement, if you will. And she writes it down and she passes it to the board members, and you sign the doc, and she says, congratulations, here's your ID cards, and just kind of goes through some more of the documents that you already get. You get the bylaws and whatnot in the mail beforehand, but you just kind of get it into a little bit more detail. She talks about the history of the club a little bit, just kind of what their goals and aspirations are, kind of how they want to be run, how they want to run themselves, and just all the benefits of being a member there. So it's good. You're in there for, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe. Had the kids with me, had my 3 kiddos with me, and Mallory came with, and we got some coins. They're little, poker chip, ball markers that say free ice cream or free cocktail on there. And so we went and got ice cream for the kids, and
Oh, that's cool.
it was a good time. Yeah.
I like it. I'm highly anticipating my my notice here in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. She, we talked about just kind of the community, and I mentioned, Jordan Matilla being a member already, and that he helped me come in, and that I actually encouraged one of the people on the next month's board review, Giovanni, and she's like, man, you're already recruiting people.
Yep.
So
And then right behind us will be Garrett, in theory.
in theory,
I
we got to
noticed
get
his
him on
name
board.
wasn't on the newsletter. I noticed. So
I noticed too.
yeah. Well, Matt McDaniel, if you're listening, get on that, buddy. All right, come on. Show
Yeah.
some of the hockey community some love.
Exactly.
Hey, so I want to talk. We haven't been doing a lot of our own golfing lately. In fact, the golf that we've been playing, if I can speak for both of us, hasn't been phenomenal.
It's been bad.
Yeah, it's been a little tough. But we played when you were out of town. We played our round at Wine Valley. We went there Saturday morning. First one's off, which was phenomenal. Weather was great. I had like a light sweatshirt on, like a sun sweatshirt, and probably after 2 holes, I was like, man, it's too hot for this, despite being like 7:15 in the morning. It was fantastic, perfect weather. I started off with a triple bogey. Not a good one either. Just a beautiful drive down the middle with a gap wedge in my hand. Ended up with a triple bogey. Not the best start, but it was. I'm not going to walk you guys through the entire round, but it was one of those rounds. I think I was on hole 14, and I told Kraz, I was like, I'm probably going to shoot like an 85 today, but this is going to be a round I'm proud of, because I played really good golf except for 3 holes, 3 triple bogeys. And this isn't like a thing where it's like my score could have been blank. It was just like, so far for the last like year and a half, I have not been able to put a round together, not even like a stretch of holes, like even like any hole. It's like, it's so hard for me to get a par these days.
Yeah.
And everything was clicking. Had a lot of makeable birdie putts, made some of them, missed others. Like everything was working. 3 holes, had 3 bad holes, and I left the course saying, I feel like I got it. Like some of the old Giovanni was coming back. So I was excited about that round. Had a near ace-ish. The ball flew and landed 6 inches from the hole. Ended up with a 5-footer that I missed, which was a bummer, but just good fun day of golf. It was perfect. We had Adam Gutierrez on the bag with us. Good to see him. Just good round of golf. So I think this is a sign of good things to come. All right.
Yeah, I feel you. My scores, my last 3, rounds I've played, was week 1, week 2, and then a fun round. And I shot I don't know if we mentioned it, week 1, Sundowners, I shot, what is it, 106, 107?
Might have been 105, I think.
Okay, somewhere in there, not great. And then I lowered it, and I shot I think a 97 96. So I got into the 90s, and then I shot a 90 at Wine Valley a week later, or a few days later. No, not a few days later, the very next day, because we played Thursday night, and then I played Friday late morning and shot a 90 at Wine Valley.
Just for the sake of the listeners, Matt, let's just do a quick handicap check-in, okay? Because for anybody listening, they're probably like, this guy is a joke. He sucks at golf. To be clear, Matt does not suck at golf. He is, right now amongst our group, he is the lowest handicap. I think when we met, you were 4 or 5. Is that right?
Yeah, I when we met, all I did was practice and play. I didn't do anything else. I was practicing probably close to 4 days a week. It was pretty regimented. And so, yeah, my handicap dipped into the high fours. I want to say it was a 4.7 or 4.8, and I was playing good golf. And then it just has slowly over the last few years with the lack of practice, just it's gone up.
So just to check in, Matt's current handicap index is 7.3. I'm going to just touch on a few points here. You have, so your 2 next rounds are going to be falling off. Okay. So you've got a 9.9 and a 9.5 differential dropping off. So this is like a handicap potentially going up scenario. Last 3 rounds, you shot a 90 at Wine, 96 at Sun Willows, 106 at Canyon. But I don't think we should neglect the 77 at Wine Valley you shot the round before that. So it's there. You had 3 rounds in the 70s consecutively a year ago, 78, 77, 76, one of which was at Gamble Sands, 2 at Columbia Point. Columbia Point seems to be a low course for you. You have 2 rounds at Meadow Springs, 80 both 89s, and then you had a 91 a week and a half later. You got good golf in there. Okay, most of these rounds I'm looking at are in the low or mid 80s, but we are on a little bit of a handicap watch, if I must say. Now, for myself, my handicap actually went down for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Let me pull mine up here. So my current handicap is 8.9. I think it was like a 9.4 before we played last. It's just been steadily going up. In fact, my low handicap index was last year 8.3. So we're chipping our way. I'm safe for a round. My next round dropping off is a 16 differential. However, I've got 3 in a row that are counting to my handicap: a 78, 83, 83. My last few rounds were the 83 at Wine Valley, 87 at Sun Willows, 93 at Canyon, 87, 88, 80, 89, 89, 94, 88, 86. And trust me, I feel like this. I mean, if we look at the differentials here, it's a 9, 14, 17, 14, 14, 9, 15, 17. Like, I feel like a 15 handicap, truly.
Right.
Except this last round. So I'm hoping I can reel something in. But it hasn't been pretty. And quite frankly, just looking at the numbers here, I know how the numbers work, but just at first glance, this doesn't look like an 8.9 handicap scorecard here.
Right. No, I feel I mean, outside of that 77 at Wine, the last few rounds, I have felt like I was the same way, 15, 18 handicap. It just nothing. I couldn't hit anything. Like, I think the difference, I guess, between my, feeling like an 18 handicap and maybe the typical 18, 20 handicap that you meet is, like, I'm getting the ball off the ground for the most part. I'm just absolutely flying my target, or I'm 20 yards short, or I'm way left, or I'm way right. It's just like I have no idea what's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, hummingbird. Big bird guy.
He's getting old.
I'm getting old. So I feel you, man. I feel you. And it's one of those, like, gosh, I just feel like it might just a little fix and I'll be fine, but I'm searching.
It's interesting. this might be like a first or like a peak here for me, but I have 13 different golf courses in the last 20 rounds. That's kind of a unique place to be in. I didn't realize it till I'm looking at it now, but we have Scarecrow at Gamble Sands, both the Suncadia courses, Pumpkin Ridge, the Reserve Vineyards, Langdon Farms, Auction, Southern Dunes in Arizona, Whirlwind Golf Club, Wine Valley. Hadn't played Canyon Lakes in a while. So I kind of like this. And I'm going to use that as an excuse and say the reason my handicap's so high is because I'm playing a bunch of courses I've never played before. I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I'll defend that. I'm on board.
All right, buddy. Well, what do you think? Should we talk about Mr. Chris Gotterup winning the John Deere Classic, shooting a 9 under score on Sunday to take the lead? You're a big Chris Gotterup guy, so I'm just going to let you take the floor.
I don't know if I have much more to say other than what I've already said about Chris. Like, I think he is an up and coming golfer that's going to turn into one of those guys that is mentioned to win golf tournaments. And he has 3 wins on the season now. He had 2 early ones to include the Scottish Open, quick, right? So this is win number 3. That means I think he has 5 career wins. Is that accurate?
5 career wins. He has 4 wins in the last calendar year, and there's one other golfer in the last calendar year who has as many wins.
Is it Scotty or Rory?
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. So the guy is just he's just pretty consistent. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not the longest hitter. He's not really the anything in his game. He just kind of does a lot of the stuff really, really well.
Is he not a long hitter? I kind of thought he was.
He's not one of the longest. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't hit it short, right? But he's not overpowering golf courses necessarily.
Just to set the record straight really quick. I'm sorry. He is, for average driving distance, I think we've talked about this. The PGA Tour measures their driving distance on tour through like 2 holes every round. So it's a little bit skewed, but he is ranked 5th with an average driving distance of 321. And then the driving distance for all drives, which is like a shot link stat, is 308 yards, and that's ranked 3rd on tour. So
interesting. Well,
not discrediting your take, but he is a long hitter.
He is. Okay. So early in the season, I remember looking at his data golf chart, and his strokes gained in driver distance. He was not gaining. He wasn't losing anything, but he wasn't gaining anything. So maybe that's changed over the course of this season. So I stand corrected. But he's kind of fun because he's not your prototypical swinger of a golf club. Like, you're not going to teach his swing necessarily to anybody. He just kind of has a unique build. He aims way left, which I kind of love. He'll be in the center of the fairway and be aimed left of the left edge of a green, and then hit it in the center of the green. It's fun. I like it. I think he's going to end up being a guy we talk about for a really long time, man. I think over the course of the next year, if he doesn't do it before then, I think he's going to turn into one of those guys where it's like, okay, he needs to win a major now. I think that's kind of where we're going to start putting him, or else he'll kind of fall into the, and this is no discredit to Homa, but like a Homa guy, right? Like, he might reel off a win. He's a good golfer. He's not a bad golfer, but like, you're not necessarily putting Max Homa on major tournament win watch lists. I think that's where he's going to end up within the next year. It's an interesting comp, because Max Homa has 6 PGA Tour wins spanning between 2019 and 2023. And yeah, I think he's pretty quickly kind of graduating from, the golfer that he is to kind of moving past a guy like Max Homa. Right.
Speaking of Max Homa, finished solo second this week, which was really, really cool to see. really, really cool to see for a guy that just has been struggling the last probably, I don't know, 18, 24 months. But yeah, I mean, 5 PGA Tour wins is nothing to scoff at. We talked about Victor Hovland last week. He just got his 8th win, and like Chris Gotterup's right at his heels. It's interesting. He's won. So in the last calendar year, he's won at the Waste Management Open, the Scottish Open. He won here at the John Deere, and he won at the Sony in Hawaii, which to me is kind of like the perfect like combination of wins, right? Like he doesn't, as you said, he's not like the guy at anything. And he's not like a one-trick pony with like golf course types, right? Like when he won at the Scottish Open, he was going head to head against Rory McIlroy, like at his peak. And so I mean, it's like total recency bias here, but you've been on this jump for a long time that he's a guy that's here to stay. And it's kind of cool to see him go out and win one like this, where quite frankly, I don't know that Chris Gotterup was really on anybody's mind until he's 6 under and sniffing the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got on board with the Gotterup train probably 2 or 3 weeks after the Masters last year. So not this year's Masters, but last year's Masters is when I kind of was like, yeah, I like this guy a lot. I think he might have something in him. So it's fun to watch, man. And
I'm also a big fan of him crying. Like I'm all in on that.
Dude.
I love that. It's kind of funny when I was watching it.
You have to mention the reason why he was brought to tears this round. Not that it was the first time he's done that after a win, but this week was a little special with his brother on the bag.
I remember watching, and and Ben Coles is hitting the ball in the water. All he has to do is par and take it to a playoff, which is just crazy. But in my head, I'm like, what's this reaction gonna be like for a guy like Chris Gotterup? He's known to be emotional and cry after a win, which I'm all for. I wish more guys did that. But he's like just on the driving range, and the camera pans to him, and he's just like holding his club, kind of like how guys like clean up the club face off their toe or their shoe. He's like doing that while watching the replay, and he realized like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win. Goes up and hugs his brother, starts crying, and it's just an interesting celebration when they're on the driving range by themselves.
Another little sidebar that I enjoyed was the brother during that Chris wasn't hitting him, so the brother had clubs out of the bag and was just taking swipes there at the range. That was kind of fun.
I know, I love to see that. That's one of those things that I think we've talked about a little bit before, where it's like, if I were your caddy, how would I behave? And like that's totally something that, like, if you're over there taking interviews or something, like I'm just going to grab a couple swings with your sand wedge or try out your driver.
Yeah.
Just funny, like really humanistic things.
Yeah. Do we remember? I don't have the list in front of me. I think we actually did pretty good on our rundown of players this week. I know you picked Zach Johnson, and I'll admit, I thought that was the wildest pick. And he played really well.
So obviously I was going with a little bit of some silly picks here, but Zach Johnson came to mind just because this is like one of those Midwest tournaments. But yeah, you're right. Finished T9, opened up with a 64 on the first day, and Matt Hansen's like, whoever picked Zach Johnson was a genius. And I just kept quiet because I think he was trying to give you credit, and I was like, but then kind of sneaky, Matt Kuchar, my other pick, T15. He only finished a stroke behind Zach Johnson. And then I think I picked Akshay, right?
Yeah, Akshay was your other guy.
How did he do? Maybe I tried to pick Akshay and he wasn't in the field.
Maybe that's what it was. I know you mentioned him.
I can't remember who my other pick was. Dang it.
It was, you had Zach Johnson. Gosh, who was your third guy? Because my other two were Keith Mitchell.
JT Poston.
Oh, that's right.
He also made the cut, T51, 8 under.
Where did Keith Mitchell and Blades Brown had a good round. I know he was up there as well.
Blades Brown played well. Let me pull this thing up. I think he got a top 20. So Blades Brown, T12.
Sick.
15 under. And you had Keith Mitchell.
I don't think he had quite the same.
T51. He did pretty good. And who was your last pick?
Those are the three: Gotterup, Mitchell, and Blades Brown.
Oh, you picked Gotterup?
Yeah.
Dang it. Of course you did.
That was my first pick, dude.
Dang, I was about to come over here and start tallying up who had the most earnings for this tournament, but I think he blew me out of the water with that one.
This guy. This guy did.
Dang.
Oh yeah, baby. Dude, don't disrespect the got her up, man. Don't disrespect the got her up. Giddy up, got her up.
So I'm just gonna shift a little bit because I sent you a deal on Instagram, and it was. I'm just gonna pull it up so I can maybe give credit, I guess, in this case.
Yeah.
It was an interview that Keegan Bradley was doing. I'm gonna see if I can find out who was doing the interview. He was on Barstool, and
yeah.
they were asking him how do you tell an amateur who's struggling with a slice, how do they fix a slice? And Keegan had said something along the lines of like, a lot of people will say to like swing easy, and he's like, if you have a slice problem and swinging easy, like usually means you're just going to keep slicing it. He goes, so I just tell people just swing hard. And the post was Brad Steckline, admittedly not from Steckline. Okay.
Yeah, I've actually reached out to him to get him on the show.
Oh, that's right. So I actually, this would be a fantastic thing for Brad to get on the show and talk to us about, because I don't know anything about golf swings, but the purpose of his post is he's showing it on the side and he's showing his reaction, and right in front says crap advice. He's making a face like, what's Keegan talking about? Now, again, I'm gonna disclaimer this with, I don't know anything about the mechanics of a golf swing. So I can't say truly if this is good or bad advice when we're talking about the golf swing. But I can say I've heard guys talk about this before. I think like maybe a bad example, but I know John Daly has mentioned this before. Cam Young in an interview years ago had mentioned the same thing. Like, what do you tell your buddies? Just go up and swing hard and then figure it out from there. Like once you get the ball in the air and going a distance, then you can dial it in and figure it out from there. Mm-hmm. And when I hear Keegan saying that, I just don't know that should be categorized as firmly crappy advice. Because admittedly, in my golf game, not so much lately, but like when my golf swing would start to get kind of crazy or like I'm losing control of a slice, I don't swing as hard as I can, like he's suggesting, but I would always resort to like just swing natural. Like just don't think about it and just do your normal swing, which usually is like a hard, aggressive swing. And part of that's just like forcing your body to be an athlete and just like naturally get the club head in position. And part of me, like when I hear Keegan saying that, that's what I'm thinking immediately is like, just swing your swing. Like you're going to the batting cages, just, you're not going to think about swinging easy and keeping the bat face open, right? Just swing your natural swing. And then once you have that down, then you can start tweaking. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. And because I have and I'm not a pro golfer, obviously, but I know what I do. And I would say that when I'm struggling off the tee box, which is probably the most common club I struggle with in the whole bag is the driver. When the driver's on, the driver's great, but if there's a club that goes, that's the one. And I'll be honest, oftentimes when I sort it back out like mid-round, right? Like if there's a few holes where the driver starts slipping, the thing that I do is I'll kind of adjust my footwork a little bit and I'll swing hard, right? Like I will think about swinging hard. And I don't know what it does for other people, but for me, I think what it does is I get out of my head on, the position of all of these body parts. Where's my elbow? Where are my hands? Where's the club face? Where's my hips? Where's my shoulders? And I think I think the other thing that's happening when I think about swing hard is you have to swing smooth as well. So to swing easy, I think you think about the process too much, and I think you get out of sequence. And this is just me. I know that if I'm swinging easy, unless I'm playing really well, if I'm playing really, really well, I can have the swing thought, swing easy, and it works, and it's fine. But if I'm struggling with the driver, for whatever reason, I open my stance a little bit and I swing hard. And I think it just kind of deletes all of the other things that are going on. And it forces my body to do what it should be doing anyway. Now, do I hit a perfect shot all the time? No. Sometimes I hit it low in the face, this and that. But I'll be honest, the lefts and the rights kind of slow down a bit. And it does kind of be better. You see that bee?
I did. It got right in front of your camera.
Golly. So I don't know if it's bad advice, and I'm curious what Brad's take is. I mean, he is a coach. Like, let's be clear, he is a swing coach for a living. That's what he does. I believe he works at a golf course, and he has a program, and he coaches guys across the country, right? So I've toyed with actually using it myself as a swing coach, and I've never pulled the trigger. But I am really curious in what his thought is, and if I were to guess, it's a very much golfer's alteration of, the terms, right? So he's going to disagree with swinging hard, but he's going to say, swing with purpose or swing your swing. He's going to say something like that, right? And he's going to kind of alter the swing thought. Would be my bet. That's what I would bet is the case.
Well, I'm also not naive to the fact that, he's got over 100,000 followers. I'm not naive to the fact that this could be a little bit of a, clickbaity kind of getting a reaction out of people, kind of rage bait sort of thing. I'm not naive to the fact that that's could be a little bit about what's going on, right? Like, it's a pretty firm take to say this is terrible advice, because if we're talking about, the qualifications to make these statements, you could argue Keegan's pretty qualified to say something like that. He's not a teaching pro, but he's a major champion, Ryder Cup captain. But on the flip side, you got this other guy, Brad, who is an instructor. So I would genuinely be curious to hear what he says, just as a reaction to that post. Back to what you were saying about swinging easy. My first thought when I'm swinging easy goes wrong because you're trying to swing easy, which kind of feels like you're trying to swing with some sort of rhythm and like tempo. And the thing that happens to me whenever I do that is my hands are late. And so my club face is open and I'm slicing the ball. Like that's the challenge, is like, okay, I swung easy. Now I need to figure out how to get back to swinging normal.
Yeah.
So, I'm not endorsing Keegan Bradley. And quite frankly, it's a bit of an unfair situation Keegan Bradley's in anyway, right? Like, he's not teaching guys how to play golf. He was asked a question and he's like, I don't know the answer. I'm just like, yeah, just swing hard, man. Have fun.
Yeah. I'm curious what the situation looks like when Keegan Bradley is giving that advice,
Is he giving that advice to like Jordan Spieth on the Ryder Cup team?
Yeah, maybe not Jordan Spieth. Speaking of Jordan Spieth, real quick, let's take a quick detour. How did it take so long for the memes for Jordan Spieth playing out of every weird position that you could imagine happening? You know what I mean? Have you seen these memes?
I have. I'm gonna be
Jordan
honest,
on the
Matt.
13th, and he's like at the bottom of a community pool or something.
I'm a fuddy-duddy poopy pants here, but that meme just got old fast though. It's like, as soon as you see the text, you're like, all right, I get it. All right, I've seen the worst. All right, I've seen him in the middle of Cairo in the pyramids. Okay, like, I saw it. Like, how much crazier can it get? But no, you're right. But it's almost funny because I think it was a meme. It was like an intellectual meme for so long, right? Like, that everybody's known that about Spieth. So it's like we've all had the meme in our head, just nobody's put it
right. Nobody,
put it on paper. And it's like anybody who's a golf fan is like, I get it, right? It's not one of those kind of getting lost in pop culture things. I mean, it takes me back to like, I think it was the BMW championship like 3 years ago when he hits it like so far left into somebody's backyard or something, and he got TIO, and then his drop was on a sprinkler head. So he got like 3 drops for free relief, and it took him like 20 minutes. And then he ends up making par or birdie, like typical Jordan. Or at Royal Birkdale when he wins the Open Championship. And we talk about this all the time, but he hits his ball into the stinking driving range, and 25 minutes later, after finally getting a line from his caddy, because I don't think that was in his yardage book, hits this phenomenal golf shot. As you're doing, you're pointing. He makes the putt from a mile away, points at his caddy, go get it.
Get the ball.
Oh, I loved that. Speaking of the Open Championship, it's coming right up. We've got the Genesis Open, the Genesis Scottish Open coming up this week, which is truly one of my favorite non-major tournaments to watch. I think it's just because I love watching links golf. I love the more they play over in the UK, the better for me. And this just kind of wets the whistle as we lead into the Open Championship. And our guy Chris Gotterup's going to be. Is he defending his title or he won that last year. So he'll be defending his title. So hopefully going back to back. They're playing that at the Renaissance or the Renaissance Club. I don't know if we talked about it in the past, but it's when I have in my brain Scottish and Irish golf, it's not that. And it's just, it kind of puzzles me as to why they go to that club in particular when they have so many, world renowned courses over there. But that almost always ends up being a really enjoyable tournament. It's like the first time that the waves that players tee off from becomes like a relevant story, which I love. I love that. So yeah, anyhow, I'm excited. It's kind of sad that we're creeping into the final major of the year. But I'm excited for some Scottish golf.
Who's in this field that is looking to qualify for the Open Championship? There's a couple names, isn't there, that are fairly significant that don't already have an in. I don't have. I'm freewheeling it here, so I don't have anything in front of me. We're sitting on the deck.
Big
I know
names.
One of the names that I know, just because I'm between us more of a YouTube golf fan than you are, and Wesley Bryan missed out on qualifying last week, missed a putt on 18 to get into a playoff, and I know he's playing in this tournament, so I'm assuming he has to win it to qualify, or is there a lower position he can get to qualify?
I was not aware that Wesley Bryan was playing in the Scottish
Maybe it's
Open.
a different tournament.
In fact,
Maybe
I'm not.
A different tournament.
Okay. Now, I don't know. We can kind of go down the list really quick. I'm assuming you're talking about like big name guys.
Yeah.
There's probably a fair amount of guys that are not in the field, but just looking through, I'm pretty sure Adam Scott's in the field. Is Brooks Koepka in the field? When's the last time he won the PGA in 23? So he's going to be in the field. I don't know how the Højgaard brothers are doing. Xander Shirley in the field. Cantlay's probably in the field from a world rankings. Shane Lowry. I imagine he's. Well, he won the Open Championship, so he's going to be in there. Maybe Robert McIntyre is one of those guys.
Well, he won it 2 years ago, so he's in, I'd imagine, right?
Oh, he won the Scottish. That's right. That's right. Or did he win, or did he get beat by Rory?
No, 2 years. Rory won the year before McIntyre.
Okay.
So it's Gotterup, McIntyre, McIlroy.
That's when Rory hit that sick stinger 5-iron on the 18th hole. I'm not familiar with any names. Maybe Tyrrell Hatton could be listed as one of those guys that's potentially not in the field. Adrian Meronk, live golfer, who I imagine is not in the field. I don't know. These are the names you're reaching for. Henny Duplessis. Jake Knapp.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka's in the field. And he needs it, man. We were doing our money game for the season, and I thought I had the secret weapon picking Brooks Koepka, and what a stinker.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit that list. We haven't talked about it in a while. See how we're doing.
Yeah, I need to. There's a couple weeks. I was trying to update it a few days ago, and I somehow slid days on the tabs, and so I have to move everything down to cover. So there was a tournament that wasn't in my table that I had to add, and so everything had to slide. It's not been fun. So
speaking of UK golf, I don't know if we've talked about it on here or not, but we officially have an Ireland golf trip planned for October 2027, thanks to the OG Matt Hansen. This has been something that has been in the works. I shouldn't say in the works. Matt has been bugging me about an Ireland trip for God knows how long. I mean, realistically, probably for the last 5 years, but it's been something we've talked about for 10 plus years. Finally pulling the trigger. Matt, I think Matt already got our deposits in, but you're going, I'm going, Matt's
I'm
going,
excited.
Joel, Kraz. No, Kraz isn't going. Dang it. We got some of our hockey buddies, Joel and Teets. And I just want to run through the itinerary because I'm excited for it. It's everything you'd expect out of a golf itinerary. We're gonna give a short little shout out to Swing Golf Ireland. I wish I could remember the fellow's name, but there's a guy who's been working with Matt on getting this booked. It's like a golf booking agency.
Yeah.
I think his name might be Jim, but Matt says he is just the sweetest thing in the whole wide world. They've changed the itinerary probably 15 times, and they just rolled with the punches together. So shout out to that. That's an awesome experience. So as of right now, here is the itinerary. I'm planning on arriving on Friday, September 24th, 2027. It's going to be a long travel day. I believe that's when I'm planning on getting there. But we're going to be staying at Lahinch Coast Hotel on Saturday, the 25th. The following day on Sunday, we're going to play Lahinch Golf Club, staying at the Lahinch Coast Hotel. So all 8 of us are going to be playing there. Also included in this is all of our hotels are booked already, and we're going to have a kind of a Sprinter van with a driver driving us all around the countryside. So after our Sunday round, we're going to go to the McSweeney Arms Hotel. We're going to play Ballybunion Golf Club. The next day, we're going to play Duke's Golf Club and Beaufort Golf Club. So 36 on that Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to play Waterville Golf Links. Thursday, we're going to play Old Head Golf Links. And then Friday, we're going to play Tralee Golf Club. I think my knee-jerk reaction here is that I don't want to fly out until Sunday. And I'd like to make our way back over to Dublin, which is where we'll be flying into. Make our way back over to Dublin and have kind of a send-off day where we just spend the day in Dublin, check out the Irish pubs, and drink some Guinness. All the college students who studied abroad always told me the Guinness is so much better in Ireland. So I want to find out for myself.
I was telling Matt, I was messaging with him, and I was getting a little romantic about this trip. I was telling him, I am excited for the golf. Obviously, I'm super excited for the golf, but I think I'm almost as excited about finding a small pub post round and sitting there with the boys and going over our last 18 holes, talking about our favorite shots, and just, I'm much of a find the local spot. Like, I don't like the touristy stuff. I want to find the local spot. I feel like everybody says that, but I don't know if everybody actually feels that way. And I think those hours are going to be just as important as the golf. And so I actually kind of am excited that we're only doing 18. And I think some people will be like, God, you're going all the way to Ireland and you're not going to play 36 every single day. It's like, no, man, like, I'm going all the way to Ireland. Like, this is a vacation. Yeah, I'm going to play golf every day, but I also want to hang out with my boys, I want to tell some tales. I want to explore. I want to do the stuff. So I'm super stoked, man. I was an alternate, I was a couple names down the list on the alternates. You kind of gave me a heads up like, hey, man, there's a possibility we might make it to you. What do you think? And I was like, oh, man, if you give me the nod that I need to make a decision, I should have an answer within 48 hours. Unbeknownst to me, you had warned Matt that was the case. Like, hey, don't talk to Matt until you're ready for him to commit. So
Well, that was. Well, we should air this out a little bit because I don't want this to sound worse than it is. So,
hopefully that didn't sound bad at all.
No, I just want to make sure, like, Matt here, my co-host, is not like a problem. It's not why he was on the alternate. So obviously me and Matt have a relationship.
Yeah.
Me and OG Matt have been best buddies forever. And Matt and Matt know each other. They've gotten to know each other. And I think Matt Hansen, we've talked about this for so long. I think he had this kind of romantic idea that it would be this like tight knit group of guys. And
Yeah.
so the first, like the A cut, the varsity team was just like a bunch of our really close buddies, family friends, like Lou, who Matt, you're going to love. Lou is going on the trip. He's Matt's dad's, one of his best friends. Truly like a one-of-one human being. You'll love him. But anyhow, so Matt had said, I don't want to suggest co-host Matt just because I don't know what your guys' relationship is like. So I didn't want to be like, let's bring my friend to your trip, right? And then so Matt reaches out and says, well, how do you feel about Matt coming? And I was like, honestly, the reason I didn't mention it is because I didn't want to feel like I'm barging in on your trip. You're the one planning it. And so we made like an alternate list, and like Kraz was on that alternate list.
Yeah.
And we had to, I told him, I go, listen, Matt is the guy who will tell you yes or no in a moment. And I'm going to be honest, I think if we ask him, he's going to say yes. Like, I don't think it's even going to be a question. And so we were like, well, we have like 3 spots or 2 spots to fill and like 4 alternates. So we just asked all the other guys that he wanted to ask first, kind of assuming some of them would say no. So you were almost like, at least for me, like the ace in the hole. And then of course, fast forward, I ask you, and I think you might have pondered on it for like a minute and a half, and you're like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm super stoked. I've been, we've mentioned a couple of times on the show, like I've only gotten into golf in the last, 6 years, 7 years maybe. And on one hand, that feels like a long time, but in the world of like guys that have been playing golf, that's not very long. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's guys that have been playing, twice as long as me and have never been on golf trips. And, I went on one quick to Bend about 3 years into my like, hey, I'm into golf. And I loved it. It was my first like guys golf trip. Never been on one before. And I was like, oh my God, this is different. This is why guys do this. Because it was, I don't know, there was just kind of a buzz about it the whole weekend. And from then on, I was like, man, I hope to find a group of guys that go and do this sort of thing. And that's kind of what my interest in the Sundowners originally was, right? Is I found out kind of how you guys operate, and you have a championship weekend. I was like, okay, so the entry, the barrier for entry is I have to play 8-week season. Okay, I'll play an 8-week season. But ultimately, I was doing it so I could go on the golf trip at the end of the year. Like that's really what it was about. Like, was it some far off place? No, but I didn't care. It was like I get to go on a golf trip. I'm gone for 3-4 days, and we get to have a fun dinner. And there's this thing about this camaraderie about it. And then kind of the second chapter to like experiencing a guy's golf trip was like, well, eventually I got to go to Europe. Whether that's Scotland, whether that's Ireland, whether that's England, whether or Great Britain, as a whole. Like, what does that look like? I wanted to do it. So when you mentioned it to me, I was like, oh my God. I had kind of mentioned it to Mallory, like, hey, I'm not in yet, but there's a chance I might get officially invited to go on this trip. Like, where do we stand? And we didn't get too much into the details. We talked about the numbers, like what it would look like. I didn't know at the time when I first talked to her, I didn't know the dates. And we were just kind of like, well, that should work. I don't think there's a problem there, right? Like 1 week versus another might make things a little bit more tricky, just scheduling wise, but with such a lead on it, we should have been able to figure it out. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make this happen. And a few days later, you're like, hey man, you're on the clock.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I messaged you and Matt within 24 hours, like, hey, I'm 99.8% in. Like, there's like one other thing I need to sort out, but it is a minor thing based on the information I have. But nevertheless, you should be able to count me in. Like, here's my money.
So just for kicks, I got the top 100 golfcourses.com pulled up for Ireland golf courses. Number one on that course is the old course at Ballybunion, which is where we are playing our second round of golf. Second course on this list is Lahinch Golf Club, the old course, which is the first round of golf we're playing. And I'm just going to peruse through. Also, I see Port Marnock on here, number 4. I think this is what Rory says is his favorite golf course in the world. This is in Dublin.
Oh, I
So
thought he had said
maybe
Ballybunion. Am I wrong? I thought it was Ballybunion.
maybe it is. I thought it was Port Marnock, but in my head, I'm like, man, if we're going to stay till Sunday, maybe we'll just squeeze in another round of golf at Port Marnock. Anyhow, Waterville, we're going to be playing. That's number 5 on the list. So we're playing Waterville on Wednesday. I'm going to keep perusing through till I can find. So we were going to play Doonbeg Trump International, which that got moved because our itinerary dates changed. It got moved for Waterville, which is 5th on the list. So I can't say I'm sad about it, but they are playing the Irish Open in September this year at Doonbeg. So like, it would have been kind of fun to watch the course that we're going to go play.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tralee. So we're playing Tralee on Friday. That'll be our last round book. So Tralee is 12 on the list. And I saw another one on here. Old Head is 21 on the list. We're going to be playing Old Head. And Dukes is 23. The only course I didn't see on a first pass was Beaufort Golf Club, but I'm almost certain Beaufort is kind of like a short course kind of, which is why Matt set us up for 36 that day, because Beaufort's just kind of like a local muni type course. But I mean, we're talking about Ireland, right? It's like next door neighbors to the home of golf in Scotland. I mean, it's golf there is older than we are as a nation, and we get to play. All the rounds we're playing, all but one is in the top 25 in Ireland. So it's going to be a dream trip. And I'm with you, man. It's like a large part of this obviously is golf, but I think even within the rounds of golf, it's about a little bit more than that, right? It's like kind of a dream trip. Everybody that gets into golf, they always have that, like, have you been to Scotland yet? Or you hear about people going to Scotland to play golf, and it feels so unachievable in some sense, and so it's going to be very golf forward, but just kind of immersing ourselves in the culture. And I'm with you. I want to find some of these pubs, some divey pubs or local joints near to the course. And I don't know. I just want to kind of just dive right into it. I'm okay playing 18 holes a day. I don't think, on top of the fact that we're walking all of these golf courses, golf is definitely a more of an exercise there than we're used to here in the States. So I think we're going to be plenty worn out between the beers and the pubs and the golf. So
I'm stoked. I'm really stoked about it. It's still, I'm like excited about it, but there's still a little bit of am I really going to Ireland in a year?
I know.
Last time I left the country, outside of Mexico, I don't count Mexico, because it's just it's part of the continent. I mean, was when I first joined the Navy and lived in Japan, and ever since I came back, I haven't left, and I never went to Europe. Everything I ever went to and visited was Asia. So I'm super pumped. I am super, super pumped. Still a little unbelievable. I think once we start having tickets and like tangible things in our hand, or at least my hand, I'll like, lock in.
What's crazy? I'm over here. I'm looking at Ballybunion right now on Google Maps. And sure, it has a very big, beautiful clubhouse. It has like the kind of gated entrance. It definitely feels at first glance like, a top-notch golf course. But like you start to just drive down the roads here, and it's just nature. It's just Ireland. There's just fields and small houses and cottages, and it's just so unique. Like that is firmly not something you get here in the United States. You could probably put places like Bandon in a similar category. They build them in such remote areas, but it's like in Ireland, it's seeing a golf course feels like the same as seeing a wheat field, right? It's like water is wet, the sky is blue. It's just like the nature of how they do business there. And it's
I,
just so cool and unique, man.
I have an interesting question for you, and I didn't prepare you for this. I'm just asking because I think in a lot of words you're saying, these courses are purely Irish, right? These are purely Irish experiences. These golf courses that we're going to be playing. Is there a golf course, and I don't know if it's possible to say it because of just how different the environment is across the U.S. from East Coast to West Coast. But do you think there's a type of or a golf course that you could name that is purely American? Like if there is a golf course that represents American golf the best, what does that look like? I think it's hard though, right? Because if you're on the West Coast, you're like, I mean, the best one is probably Cypress or Chambers or something like that like represents what the West Coast is. So you probably have to divide it up into quarters or eighths.
I mean, I don't even know, because that's what's hard is my brain immediately goes to like US Open type courses. And that's like almost like an artificial American thing, just because that's how like the US Open has kind of morphed as a host tournament, right? So it's going to be firm and fast, really long rough, apparently no trees. Like that seems to be a thing going away for US Opens. But I don't think that embodies like American golf.
Let me give you a qualifier. One of the things that they talk about specifically that separates links golf versus US golf is that links golf, you can play basically every inch of the course on the ground and get to the cup, right? I mean, where golf here is target golf. Like here's your landing area. You have to land it here on the green. And it takes, a unique ability to get the ball way up in the air and land it in a specific spot. So I would, part of me thinks that has to be one of the first qualifiers for the course. And like, I guess I hate to take it there because this is such a high bar, but is Augusta National like the epitome of American golf? I guess I can't say Pine Valley because I have never played Pine Valley. I haven't seen much of Pine Valley just because of how exclusive it is. We've seen a little bit of Cypress Point, but it I don't know, the way it looked when we were watching the was it the President's Cup, right? Last year, which tournament was it on TV?
Played where?
At Cypress.
That was the Walker Cup.
Walker Cup, thank you. It's I don't know. Does that qualify? Cypress Point, Augusta National? I mean, is that purely American target golf? Hit it high, stick it.
I don't have an answer for you. Because if it's not US Open, my brain goes to like just American golf culture, which is going to be like grabbing your golf carts, packing your cooler with beer, playing music in your speaker, having post round beers. Like it's like it just feels different. And this is a guy I've never played golf, and I played golf in Europe. I guess I played in Switzerland, but by all accounts, like golf in the UK is it's like a recreational like sports activity, and it's like
going to the gym or the YMCA to get run on the treadmill.
Yeah, and there's like I'm excited to experience it. I'm speaking out my rear end here, but like it just feels like it's a little bit more of like a sportsman's activity, right? Whereas when we tell our significant others we're going to go play golf, they just hope we don't come back drunk, right? Like that's
right.
And to be clear, you and I don't really drink when we golf, but like that is like a concern. That's a thing, right? Like when I first got into golf, I used to golf with my grandpa, and every time we golf, we'd go to Wandermere Golf Course in Spokane. We'd go before we tee off. We'd grab a big Coors Light or whatever beer we're drinking, and it's like a big plastic to-go cup, if like 32 ounces. And so we have a beer at the start, have a beer at the turn, and we have a beer with the crew after. And I'm hanging with my grandpa and all his buddies. So I'm 20 years old, thinking like this is the way golf is played, right? I look up to my grandpa. He's a big golf guy. These guys are all golf guys. And so I firmly, when I first started, associated golf as a drinking activity.
Right.
So much so that I had to reel it back at a certain point, right? Like I'd come home from a scramble and like 2 p.m. and I just want to lay down and watch TV and go to sleep because I just drink too many beers throughout the day. So that is like probably closer to whatever this like mythical United States golf course is like. It's more just the environment around it. Not to say that I'm definitely gonna be having beers when I'm playing golf there, but I don't think it's as common over there to treat it like kind of a guy's night out, like it is here in the United States.
So with what you just said, I feel like the course that best describes U.S. golf then means we need to go play TPC Scottsdale for the
TPC
same experience.
Scottsdale. Yeah, maybe you're right.
You know?
I've heard that's not heard, but like that's put up there as one of the better courses they play, at least routinely on the PGA Tour. I think it's not necessarily that it's a really, really good golf course, but I just think it plays really well for professionals.
Yeah.
That would be a fun course to play. Man, I
Oh,
almost had a
definitely go down
chance.
there.
I was like, I guess by the time it was all said and done, I didn't actually have a chance to go play this. But when I was getting ready to go to Arizona this year, uh, there's one of the companies at this conference we go to. They always do like a big kind of sponsor golf event, and they usually play at TPC Scottsdale. And I got told by my coworkers and buddies, they were like, "Hey, just so you know, like we have a tee time booked Sunday, but like there's a very real chance that we're all going to get an invite to go play TPC Scottsdale." So I'm like licking my chops. I can't wait to go. And I keep asking them, "So are we playing on Sunday?" And then I think like the day before we were all leaving, we're at the office, and I was like, "So have you guys heard?" And my buddy Ron's like, "Yeah, so we did get the invite, but they only invited 3 of us."
Oh, that's
three,
right. I forgot about
3
that.
out of the 4, and I was the one that didn't get invited. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I like truly, totally understood. I was like, he felt bad, but he had no reason to feel bad. Totally out of his control. But they did not end up playing TPC Scottsdale. I can't remember where they played. So that made it easier because, quite frankly, there's not a lot of courses in Arizona that are like jumping out that page at me where I'm like, once in a lifetime can go play, except
Right.
TPC Scottsdale a week after the Waste Management Open.
One of the, we're here at an hour. We're telling stories. I didn't tell this one on the podcast. So part of my Austin trip, figured I'd tell my potential invite. I'm down there, checked into the hotel, all settled in, go to get dinner Wednesday night. There's a little pizza joint down the street from the hotel. So I go down there, and it's a cool little like corner joint. It just kind of not a lot of seating, a couple little TVs. They had the World Cup playing. U.S. was playing who'd they play third? Was it Turkey? They're playing the Turkey game.
That's the wrong guy.
Yeah, sorry. So they were playing Turkey. And so I sat at one of the community tables that they had there. It was mostly community tables. There was no like individual seating. It was just, you can sit with your group, and then guess what? Another group might sit with you. So I kind of sat at the end of this community table, and there was this a group of friends, and they were all early 60s, mid 60s, all of them were. And I was kind of keeping to myself for the first 10 minutes. They get their pizza, they got a couple bottles of wine, they're sharing, they're chit-chatting, having a good time. And one of the gentlemen in the group just kind of calls over to me and asks me a question. I forget what it was, and just kind of pulls me into the conversation. And we start chit-chatting. I tell him, yeah, I'm not an Austin guy. I'm down here visiting for work, and I've never been to Texas before. And they start telling me all about Texas. Oh, you got to go to Buc-ee's. Oh, you got to go to this place. You got to try this. And they're super fun. Cracking jokes, making fun of each other, and just class. You could tell that this group of friends has been friends for a good while.
Yep.
And something is said referencing a round of golf that they had recently played. And so they start talking golf. And one of them asks, "Matt, you play golf? Are you a golfer?" I said, yeah, I love golf. I'm actually kind of addicted to the thing. And, they straight away ask handicap. I was like, all right. And so we all share our handicaps, and all of them were single digits, all of them. The lowest handicap in the group was the gentleman that I'll talk about here in a second. He was a 2, like a 2.5 or 2 or something like that. I think I have him actually on Gin. I think I started following him. But anyway, so we start talking golf, and they're all members at country clubs around Austin. And I mentioned to him, I said, you guys mentioned you're all members at country clubs. I say, I just got the notice yesterday that I'm getting my membership the first time to a country club. And it was really, really fun because, I had shared with you, and we'd done the podcast, and you had known, but I hadn't told anybody else, right? It was basically like my family and you. And so he's a 2.6. Well, that's what I'll say. And all of them were pumped. I didn't know what reaction I was going to get, but telling them like, hey, this is the first time I've been a member at a country club. They were just pumping my tires. They're like, oh my God, congratulations. That's so exciting. Like everything's different.
Those are the exact guys you want to share that story with.
And it wasn't the reaction. Like I said, I didn't know what I wanted out of it, but I told them because I thought that they would at least find it interesting. And I think I was trying to include myself in the conversation more than anything. And I got such a response that I wasn't expecting. It was really, really cool. And so now we're talking golf. We're talking about where have you played? And, I told him, I said, I didn't get into golf until, about 7 years ago. So I really haven't played a lot of places. Like, I went to, I played in Bend, and I played, a few places in Washington. But other than that, I haven't done anything. And one of the guys pipes in, and he starts talking about some of the places he's played. He's played all the top 100s, not on the public courses, the private courses. He's played Cypress Point. He's played Pine Valley. He's played, like, he didn't say it directly, Augusta National. He hinted at, had played Augusta National. I don't know for sure. But he's just kind of a cool dude, not too much, and just kind of has this vibe about him. And towards the end of the conversation, at this point, we've been talking 30, 40 minutes. That dinner for us is winding down. I mean, it's a pizza place, right? So I ordered my pizza. I got it within 15 minutes. And he says, you're here through the weekend. Surely you brought your clubs, right? I said, no, I did not bring my clubs. And he said, well, why not? I told him, I said, well, I came down here for work, so there's going to be during the week, like I'm not going to be able to escape and go play golf. And then for the weekend, I brought my lady down, and I'm just not going to drag her golfing on a trip like this. I'm going to take her out. And he's like, all right, I get it. But are you going to come down again? I said, well, if everything goes right, there's a chance that I'm down here a lot more often over the course of the next couple of years. And he said, love that. How about I give you my phone number and you call me when you're headed down? He said, give me a day or so notice, and I'll bring you to my country club, and we'll take you out golfing. So I, within 12 hours of being in Austin, Texas, met a friend, and he's opened the door for me being able to play one of the private clubs there in the Austin area. So
you got to keep them plugged in. Send them a random meme or something, or a golf reference.
I've got I'll be nervous the day that I have my next Austin trip booked, and I specifically pick certain days to allow me to be able to escape for a day, and let him know I'm coming to see how it goes. But to his credit,
when you go, let me know.
They tried. They were going to a cover band concert that night. This is Wednesday night. They're like, hey, we're headed out to this Led Zeppelin cover band concert. You should come with us. Come on down. I was like, no, I'm going to go to my hotel, hang out. But they wanted me to go with them. But he texted me the next day. He said, hey, here's my full name. I just want to reassure you, when you're coming down, shoot me a text. We'll get it figured out. We'll go golfing, buddy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Let me know when you go down there. We'll go down together.
Hopefully,
hey, I got a trivia question for you before we wrap here.
All right.
Do you know any of the golf courses that they filmed the Happy Gilmore movie at?
I should, because Matt Hansen texted them to me. But I do not know them by memory.
Would Furry Creek ring any bells to you?
Nope.
Okay, so like maybe 4 minutes ago, I got a message from Garrett Stevenson, hockey guy. He'll be at Meadow Springs here soon. He played Furry Creek today, and he just sent me this.
There you go. That looked like it went way left. Oh, that's great. I love that.
I love it. Now's not the time, Bobby. All right. Well, hey, I think that's a good time to wrap. I do think we should do like a deep dive preview pod for our Ireland trip, even if we did like 5 of them between now and October. It'd be fun to just do like an Ireland golf trip series where we just do a deep dive into each of these courses we're playing, talk about the history, talk about any events that they played there, and bring Matt Hansen on for those ones. So I might start getting to work on one of those. We'll pick one and just roll with it.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to get off here. I got an early flight to DC in the morning.
Oh, DC.
And,
For some reason, I thought you were headed to Iowa. It's DC.
Nope. Going to DC, going to Virginia. In fact, I'm going to be bringing my hockey gear. I usually,
that's right. I
usually bring, if I'm bringing anything, I'm bringing golf clubs.
Mr. Scott. Yeah.
Yep. Going to go play a little hockey on Friday night. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for listening. We will, tune in next week and we'll talk a little bit about the Genesis Scottish Open. All right. See ya.